are back here at Hobby Life, everyone.
Yeah, we're still together here with John. So, we were talking about bronies and Pegasisters, but we didn't really exactly define what a brony and Pegasister is.
So we just want to know, where did these terms, these fandom names come from? Where did they originate?
Well, like all fandoms, you have monikers for them because you can't actually say, oh, they're the fan of MLP. It's kind of a mouthful. A good instance is Harry Potter. What do you call Harry Potter fans?
Oh, we call each other Potterheads.
Exactly. And you also have your Trekkies, who are Star Trek fans. You have those who love Lord of the Rings, which are Tolkienites. And you also have your more fluent Whovians.
The Doctor Who fans.
Yes. So the brony term was coined as a portmanteau for bro and pony.
Therefore, brony.
Therefore,
And
brony.
it's in the title too, My Little Pony.
Though throughout the years or so, the word brony tends to lean towards the male side. Back then, when it started out, it's a general term like
Yeah.
Whovian, like Tolkienite. But now, since the show's message is love and tolerance, they decided that hey, we can also include the word Pegasister, which is another portmanteau for Pegasus and sister. So
Sisters.
therefore, it also stuck, which I would think is unique about this fandom since we have two terms for our fans.
Yeah, most fandoms actually only have one term for everyone.
But we actually have two for
men.
the sake of both genders as well. So technically, we actually just really need to think of one to generalize the whole fandom, you think?
So, what are the groups that cater to My Little Pony, especially here in the Philippines?
Groups that would be the PH Ronies.
Yeah,
they're,
I've heard of them.
they're the ones who organize the annual PH PonyCon, who are right now busy enacting or busy collaborating with the Malaysia, which are the Malaysian bronies,
Oh.
for the SEA BronyCon.
BronyCon happens yearly in the Philippines,
Or is there even a BronyCon in the Philippines?
There is a BronyCon in the
I
Philippines.
did not know that.
It started in 2012 since the movement picked up. Since the first BronyCon started 2011. So now, as of late, they kind of went into the shadows because it's agreed now that let's not limit the Philippines only to have one big convention.
One
So
big
now
BronyCon, yeah.
now they've invited those from Thailand, from Malaysia, from Indonesia, Vietnam, and even Taiwan to have this one big convention for SEA.
Now that's really cool. It's almost a global phenomenon, if not already.
Oh, it is, since the hype is built before they have invited some the voice actresses of My Little Pony, which
so
is
they actually invited the voice actresses
Yes.
here.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Tara Strong.
And they have their
and
own panel as well.
they have their own panel. Though sad to say, it's going to be held in Bangkok, Thailand.
This year.
This year, June 30.
Oh, June 30.
So
That's
it's a traveling convention. It's not stationary.
It would for now it's a stationary convention.
so it happens every year.
It
It's
happens every
happened
year.
every year
Yes.
at Bangkok since then.
No, the Bangkok
Oh.
one is the first one, but for BronyCon we've
Oh.
stuck to Mega Mall.
Here in the Philippines, right?
Philippines. Okay, we better go to that then. Now that
It's
we have
Bangkok
now that we
next
have
year.
knowledge of it, now we have some people to just fangirl and fanboy with.
So where do people usually buy merchandise for My Little Pony?
Yeah, you mentioned a while ago websites, auctions that
Yeah, are
cater
there's
to these, but are there any places in the Philippines that
cater to My Little Pony.
Well, for starters, you have your basic Toy Kingdom or Toys R Us. Those carry your basic plushies, your basic pillows, your brushables, which is the mothership line of Hasbro's My Little Ponies. Though now you have rarer stuff. A good example would be the dog tags and the lunchbox, and even the trading cards. You can get them at your hobby shops.
Hobby shops, right.
But sometimes you have rare stuff like these Funko ones. Everyone's
Wow.
familiar with the Funko Pop.
yeah,
These
the
guys
pop
are
figures.
the more rare of MLP toy line, since this is now, I would say, limited in production. These you can only find at toy meets, toy
Wow.
conventions, or if you're very desperate, you need to have them shipped from States, or this one actually came from Germany.
Oh wow. And
So
if
there
you're
are limited
yeah.
copies in the world.
Uh, uh, no, not really. There's limited production.
Limited production.
Oh,
Okay.
so they only make those when they think that they can sell or something.
Yes.
Oh wow. And if I remember, Funko Pops usually have this templated design already. So with those big heads, small bodies,
Yeah.
and that's what we normally see. So
This is
knowing
something new that we've seen.
something different
Something
too.
different. So what are the types of, how does MLP attract different types of people?
I would say it attracts them because one part is the story. We've touched upon that it's not no longer more of a children's story, it's more of a cartoon that people watch. A good example of that is Adventure Time, or
Yeah.
recently Legend of Korra or Steven Universe. The themes are less kiddie.
Yeah, they're less kid friendly. It actually makes you question why this is a kid
It's-
show in
yeah,
the
sure,
first
sure,
place.
sure.
But at least Hasbro has asked the animators keep it at least to the level of kids, but at the same time as adults or those who have watched old cartoons, old anime, or have different tastes, somehow the show evokes a sense of curiosity, I would say. And also, if you're a fan of something, you tend to attribute yourself to a character. For example, if you're
Yeah.
let's take Harry Potter again, for example. If you tend to be the brainy person, you tend
You'd
to
call yourself Hermione, right?
Yes, but for My Little Pony, if you were to compare it back then, the themes are girly. Oh my God, I need to be girly. But now you have these 6 ponies who represent different facets. A good example would be Rarity. In the show, she's depicted as a fashionista, but more people attribute themselves to Rarity because she's the creative type.
Yeah, she is.
And also that within the show, she struggles to get her fashion line
Running,
up
up
and
and running,
running.
right?
So
Her
it-
Manhattan episode.
The
is
So it-
really-
Manhattan,
Manhattan.
actually.
Manhattan. So it touches human problems, human aspects. Another good one would be Twilight Sparkle. One would tend that geeks, the nerdy types, are helpless. They can't do anything. But Twilight Sparkle has proven us wrong. She is the main heroine of
She
My
is.
Little Pony.
And now she's the princess of friendship,
Yes, of course.
an alicorn, no less.
So over the years, what has My Little Pony done for you?
Well, My Little Pony has created a very, very big community. The fandom itself has spawned many, many artists, musicians, illustrators, webcomics, and even video games. I'm actually proud to call myself part of the community. Proud to call myself Brony because I've met people who taught me how to write. People who have introduced me to programs I have never used before in my daily life as an artist. I've even heard of, it's because of them I've discovered websites that could have been useful to me a couple of years back. And now still keep close connections with them. Most recently, one of my friends, Chris Gross, who because of My Little Pony has gotten his webcomic up and running.
Oh, wow.
So My Little Pony is like a revenue for most artists these days.
I wouldn't say most artists, but makers are the makers, toy makers, plushie makers. They're the ones who are stars of the show right now.
So they're the ones like thinking of their own patterns just because they watched the show and loved it and wanted to make their own representation of the characters.
Yes, they even offer services to have an original character made that represents you, or if you want, say, a very, very, very life-size My Little Pony, you can commission one yourself.
Life size, like
As tall as us, we can practically ride it.
The life-size ones are at least 8 feet high.
wow,
Now
that's actually a lot
That's
taller.
actually through more than life itself.
So we know that there's a show, but how about the comics? Is there a big difference between the show and the comics?
Well, the show itself tackles the everyday life of the main six, Twilight and Company. The comics, on the other hand, we treat it as canon as well, since it gives us a more behind the scenes or in between the episodes. A good example of this is in the show, it was never touched that Princess Celestia actually had a relationship with King Sombra.
Yeah, she did.
And also the relationship between Shining Armor and Princess
Princess
Cadence.
No,
Right,
they-
it
it was
wasn't-
just a wedding.
It was a wedding. We didn't know
was a
how it
wedding right
started.
away.
So it could be treated as a spin-off, but often than not, the show actually gets references from the comics. So I would say both the show and the comic have
Kind of
this.
work hand on
They
hand.
work hand in hand. They have this continuity to them.
Oh, so you have to make sure that we read the comics now.
Yeah, we do.
We have to stay updated now.
So, who can you say is your favorite pony?
Oh
Can you choose?
This is a hard question, but
Well, that is hard to answer. It's like it's like showing you 6 kittens to adopt, but you're only allowed to adopt 5.
there's no top 6 because that would be the least favorite automatically, right?
Exactly. So I could only give my top 3 in no particular order, since I'm afraid that the community will.
Yeah, we don't want to get into a brony fight here.
Oh no, brony fights
No.
are very legendary.
Oh, wow.
So to answer, my top 3 would be Princess Luna, King Sombra, and of course Octavia Melody. It's right over here.
Wait, I'd really like to know. King Sombra is actually a villain in the series, right? So,
Yes.
what is there? Can you give us the reason why he's in your top 3?
Well, I would love to answer that, but that would be a spoiler. To
Oh,
Okay, we're
okay,
not gonna
okay.
show too
I
much
guess I
info.
have to wait now. But wait, is that in the latest ep? No,
Oh no, that would be in the comics.
it's in the comics. I
So,
have to
yeah.
start reading the comics now.
Yeah, we already can start.
Yeah, we should start actually.
So actually, we covered most of the topics for My Little Pony, but in our next leg, we'll be talking more about it, and as well as your art. So stay tuned. We'll be back with Hobby Life.
Don't change that chat.